Hi again, everyone. It's Post 22 Baseball from Fitzgerald Stadium as Post 22 opens play in the 43rd annual Firecracker Tournament. It's sponsored this year by Camping World with Mark Benetti. This is Tom Rudebush on ESPN Radio, Rapid City, and with our Hardhat TV broadcasts and under director Destin Human. Welcome to our broadcast tonight and what has turned out to be a beautiful night for baseball after that rain shower came down about 5:15 this afternoon and dropped some heavy rain, but it wasn't a long heavy rain, and the field is really in pretty good shape as we get set to start this game tonight, Mark, and the team is coming off a road trip in which they were gone for 7 days and I thought performed very well on the road trip, notwithstanding last game. And they open a tournament here tonight, which I've always thought is one of the best Legion tournaments in the country.
Because it brings some of the best teams in Legion ball to this part of the country. That's exactly why it is such a high-quality tournament. We have the likes of a Central Plains regional rivalry with Eden Prairie coming into town, Rocky Mountain Premier West coming from Colorado, Mountain West Baseball Academy from Utah, Yakima, Washington, who won the 75 American Legion World Series on this very field. So it brings some of the best teams from around the United States to this point in our great nation. So it's a good tournament. It also celebrates our nation as well because the championship's always played on July 4th, barring waterworks and weather and what have you. But this is such a great time to play some baseball in a great spot with great weather.
Well, it was certainly after my 2-year absence good to see a couple of good friends. Tom Appleyard at Las Vegas, who brings his team back in once again. I think it's 33 years now, 34 years, something like that, where he's brought a Las Vegas team here. And Tom recently underwent hip surgery, so he's down there with a cane, and he was asking if he wanted to race me, and I deferred. And
you would have smoked him, Tom.
Well, that's not what you said off the air. So it's good to see Tom and his Vegas team, which is under a lot of stress. Vegas had 2 players that could not make the trip. They have only 10 men on their roster for this tournament, and they've won 14 games and lost 27, a record that is very un-Vegas-like. So Tom has been around a long time. I'm sure he'll have his one of his better pitchers to throw tonight. I don't know how many pitchers he's got left on this team, but it's certainly a tough task for Tom to bring a team in like this. He always likes to compete well, but as I told you earlier, Mark, if he would have had 9 as he did as he took on a trip to Texas, he would be here because he always keeps his commitments and he knows if a team would pull out at the last moment, what disarray that would put our tournament in. So it was good to see Tom. He's got the same assistants, and he's really a great guy in Legion baseball in the country. Post 22 will come in with a 33-4 record against the Vegas record of 14-27. As we said, Camping World is sponsoring our Firecracker tournament, and it will feature not only Post 22, of course, in Las Vegas, opening up the tournament tonight. Missoula, Montana is here. Eden Prairie, Minnesota, a Twin Cities suburb who just won the Minnesota Large High School Baseball Tournament. Premier West out of Denver, a team which we played 4 games here about 3 weeks ago. We'll also see Rocky Mountain out of Colorado, a team which won the Colorado High School Championship. Mountain West out of Utah, a very good ball club. Mitch was talking about them coming back from Idaho and Washington, how good of a team they usually have. Yakima, Washington is here, and that rounds out this field, which we'll play round robin. Everybody plays each other one time through the first 6 days of the tournament. And then on Tuesday, the 4th of July, we'll have the 7th place game, 5th place game, 3rd place game, and the championship game at 5 p.m. And don't forget, the big fireworks display will be after the Post 22 game with Eden Prairie on Monday night, July 3rd. That will be the fireworks display.
It's a good time in this tournament. It's great baseball. It's good for everybody to come out. The crowds here for this tournament are naturally bigger. There's a lot of traveling fans that come to see all their teams play, but the community of Rapid City comes out and really embraces this tournament. It's always always good to see how well supported this tournament's been. And Tom, 43 years that this tournament's going on. Can you hardly believe that?
No, I mean, but I've seen every one of them except the last 2 years. So I guess in a way I can believe that. I remember the very first one. We talked about it a couple of times on the air. That first ever tournament was 8 teams, a 3-day tournament, winners and losers bracket, and the championship game rained out. But this is a tournament that games will have an 8-run rule after 4.5 or 5 innings, a 15-run rule after 2.5 or 3 innings, round-robin format. The tiebreakers are head-to-head, least runs allowed, number 2, most runs scored, and then, as you experienced, the coin flip.
Yeah, let's not touch on that memory of the coin flip, because that's still I'm still a little salty about that one. That was my first Firecracker, also rained out. So how coincidental is that? Your first championships rained out, my first championships rained out, and it was decided on a coin flip, and Eden Prairie got the win. So a little salty about that. I would have liked to have seen a great championship matchup, but unfortunately the weather and the elements had something else to say about it.
Well, we have a great Post 22 fan and a man I've known for over 50 years now, and that is Ozzie Osheim from Osheim Schmidt Funeral Home. Ozzie turned 90 years old in May. If you look at him, you wouldn't believe he's a day over 60, and he's very vibrant. He was going to throw out the first pitch, but Ryan Schmidt is going to throw out the first pitch for Ozzie, and Ryan, I think you could have thrown that ball a little bit better. Ozzie could have gotten it over the plate. But Ozzie's a great guy. His wife was here. I got to visit with them a little bit before the game. But it's great to see some of these Post-22 fans participate in the first pitch. Now let's get the starting lineups for tonight's game with Mark Benetti.
Leading off for Las Vegas, they will bat in the top halves of our 7 innings tonight is number 25, Julio Separich. He's patrolling center field. Batting second is number 12, Tyler Donahue. He is playing shortstop. Batting third, number 22, Justin Lucas. He's the backstopper and catcher. And in the cleanup positions, number 5, Kato Sukeyasu. He is the first baseman. Batting fifth is number 25, Chase Ludwig. He's playing in the hot corner at third base. Batting sixth is number 3, Andrew Ramirez. He'll patrol left field. Batting seventh is number 28, Blake Logan. He'll play at second base. Batting eighth is number 10, Parker Mayo, patrolling right field. And rounding out the batting order in the ninth spot is the starting pitcher, number 20, Anthony Ramirez. Anthony Ramirez will go up against the Hardhats batting order in the bottom halves of our 7 innings of regulation, and the lineup is as follows. Leading off, as always, is number 11, Walker Paz. He's out at second base. Batting second is number 13, Zach Solano, once again patrolling right field. Batting third, statistically the best hitter on the Hardhats roster, number 22, Cooper Bowman, back out at shortstop. And in the cleanup positions, number 23, Eric Petrie. He will act as the designated hitter for the Hardhats tonight. Batting fifth is number 28, Zach Sumption. He'll patrol left field. Batting sixth is number 31, Luke Ferdinand. He's going to play first base. Batting seventh is number 21, Timmy Paris. He's the backstopper and catcher. Batting eighth is number 14, Justin Kramer, playing in the hot corner at third. And rounding out the batting order in the ninth spot for Post 22 is number 12, Connor King. He patrols center field. Riley McSherry is called upon to start off this first game of the Firecracker for the Hardhats. McSherry comes in for his 12th appearance of the season and his 8th by virtue of his start. He has a perfect 7-0 record on the mound and 39 2/3 innings of work under his belt with 32 strikeouts to 18 walks and a 2.471 ERA. And we got to see Riley pitch some shutout baseball against the Crew Baseball Club at the start of the Palouse Summer Series when we were in Pullman, Washington last week. So he's had a full week to rest. He should be locked and loaded, ready to go.
And Mitch Messer, of course, talked a little bit about that decision not to start Riley Sunday in Pullman in that semifinal game. He was concerned a little bit about Riley's pitch count and also the fact that they'll have 7 consecutive games here at home, which would give Riley a couple of starts here in the Firecracker tournament.
Well, folks, we have the performance of the United States National Anthem coming up. When we come back, we will have first pitch, the presentation of the colors. The National Anthem will be all set for the first game of the 43rd Annual Firecracker Tournament. Stick around. You're listening to the official radio home of Post 22 Hardhats Baseball here on ESPN Radio, Rapid City.
With more than 300 pediatric experts in 35 specialty areas, Sanford Children's offers the care that matters to your family. At the Castle of Care, we are committed to bringing in the latest and most advanced technology and services to care for your children. And having the largest team of specialists in the region means your child can receive expert, individualized care close to home. At Sanford Children's, we promise to put your family first. To learn more, visit childrens.sanfordhealth.org.
You don't have to try to hit a home run when you're hitting singles and doubles all day. Consistency wins games, and it's key to helping achieve your retirement goals. At Weitzel Financial Group, they believe they're there to help with your own ideals and goals. Head toward your field of dreams. Call Weitzel Financial Group for a consultation at 348-1152. Kurt Weitzel is a registered representative and investment advisor representative with and offers securities and advisory services through Commonwealth Financial Network member FINRAS IPC, a registered investment advisor. Weitzel Financial Group, 817 9th Street, Rapid City, South Dakota, 57701.
Trusted Choice Insurance agents are independent agents.
I pledge to be your guide, not only to insurance, but to insurance companies.
They don't actually work for any one insurance company.
And to use my independence to identify the coverage that's best for you.
This means they can customize policies from several companies in ways that other agents just can't. And they commit to that.
And I pledge.
In writing. Trusted Choice. You need an independent insurance agent.
Black Hills Insurance Agency, a tradition of service since 1949.
Coke Zero goes with things like this. This. And this. Coke Zero tastes like this.
He shoots! He scores!
It sounds like this. It feels like this. So when the game is on, try it with this. Coke Zero. Real Coca-Cola taste. 0 calories, 0 sugar.
Well, both teams are set to begin tonight's game as Post 22 opens play against Vegas. Tomorrow's schedule for you. Mark, I think you should phone in reports on this game at 7:30 in the morning.
Oh, okay. What do we got?
Missoula and Eden Prairie will start things off in a full slate of 6 games tomorrow. Then Premier West will play Eden Prairie at 10. At 12:30, Premier West will play Rocky Mountain. At 3 o'clock, this Vegas team will play Rocky Mountain. At 5:30, Yakima plays Mountain West Utah. And then Post 22 plays Mountain West tomorrow at 8 o'clock. We'll have all the evening games here on ESPN Radio and all of the games, including Friday's 12:30 afternoon game on Hardhats TV.
Yeah, I don't envy the position of Eden Prairie playing at 7:30 in the morning. I actually, at that time, will probably be having my morning coffee to get ready to go into the office for 8 o'clock. So I think I'll be incapacitated and prevented from making any reports on that first matchup for tomorrow's full slate.
You know, one of my greatest memories of the Firecracker had nothing to do with the games. It had to do with the late, great sports writer of the Rapid City Journal, Roger Toland, who was a dear friend of mine. Roger and I used to score every single game, keeping box scores.
Oh, wow.
So we'd have box scores of every game. Roger and I would be here from 7:30 in the morning till the last pitch of the last game. But the Shepherds ran the concessions here, and they would always prepare us bacon and eggs and toast and juice and have it for us at 7 a.m. every morning at the Firecracker.
That's incredible. Speaking of box scores, let's give you the list of everybody that's going to be on the box score, at least defensively. Riley McSherry's on the mound for the Hardhats. He's paired up with Timmy Parris behind the plate. Luke Ferdinand's at first. Walker Paz is at second. Cooper Bowman's at shortstop. And in the hot corner at third for Post 22 is Justin Kramer. Left to right in the outfield, Zach Sumption, Connor King, and Zach Solano as Riley McSherry takes on Julio Separich, the center fielder, Tyler Donahue, the shortstop, and Justin Lucas, the catcher. Top three of the order.
First pitch is chopped towards third, but it's a fouled ball by Separich, a right-handed batter. And the count is 1 strike as McSherry jumps in front. Well, we haven't had very many games here at home where the wind hasn't been blowing, and it is whipping straight out of the north, which means it's blowing right out towards right field. Separich with a count of 1 strike. Riley McSherry into the windup. Here's his pitch. Swung on a big chopper. It's past Kramer. Deep short. Bowman a long throw to first, not in time. It'll be a base hit for Separich. A bouncer in the hole that got past Kramer going to his left, and then Bowman grabbed it on the outfield grass and just flung it towards first base, but not nearly in time. Throw a little off target. Good try by Bowman. That brings up Tyler Donahue, the shortstop.
That was a very high chop, considering that it just rained before this game started. That was a little uncharacteristic as to how the physics of the field would work, but base hit.
Donahue takes a pitch down low and inside. The left-handed batting Vegas shortstop. It's amazing. We had 1/3 of an inch of rain last night at my house, and I was out in the yard this afternoon, and how dry it was. The rain just soaked in to the ground, and I'm sure that's what's happened here, too. It's been a very dry summer. There's a bunt towards third. Kramer fields it, throws on over to Ferdinand for the out. Donahue with a sacrifice bunt. Separich goes to second for Vegas. And they have a runner in scoring position here with 1 out. And Justin Lucas coming up, the catcher. And I was going to tell you that we were underway at 6:56 this evening, and our game time temperature 67 degrees. Lucas swings and chops one towards third, and that's foul. 1 strike the count. Riley McSherry, who has, Mitch Messer told me all season, he assured me by the time July rolls around, Riley will be at the top of his game. Right-hander working out of the set. 1 strike pitch to Lucas is a strike on the outside corner, and the count is 0-2. Teams this season against Riley are hitting .261. Separich, the runner at second base with 1 out. Just underway here in the top half of the first inning. Here's the set by McSherry. The 2-strike pitch is swung on, a fly ball into center field. Back goes King, still going back. It's up into the wind, and it bounces off the fence to the left of the 393 sign. A stand-up double for Lucas. And now the throw coming home gets past the catcher Paris, and Lucas goes to third. Well, that ball certainly got airborne. And a run-scoring double for Lucas as he takes third as the throw came to the plate.
And they're going to rule an E6 on Cooper Bowman because he had the cutoff from Connor King at center and tried to gun out the runner at home and just overthrew Timmy Paris. So it'll be the RBI double, but also an error charge to Bowman at short.
That allowed Lucas to go to third. Here's left-handed batting first baseman hitting a foul, Kato Sukayasu. I have it written here phonetically, and I still can't get it right. Sukiyasu, the first baseman. The left-handed batter. And now time is called as Sukiyasu steps out. And the pitch is swung on and missed. 1 strike. Make it 2 strikes. 2 strikes to count. Outfield is straight away. The infield is back. 1-0 Vegas here in the first. The pitch on the way. Swung on. Hit out into left center field. That's going to drop for a hit. Coming home to score is Lucas, and that makes it 2-0. Sukiyasu dumps a single to left center. And Vegas with 3 hits here in the first inning. And they lead 2-0 and brings up Chase Ludwig, the third baseman.
Well, credit this Vegas team. They started off the game playing small ball. That run came across. An error helped them advance a runner to 90 feet from scoring. before you know it, they're up 2-0. Good to see them compete.
Ludwig, a right-handed batter. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. 1 strike. Ferdinand holding with Sukiyasu at first. Here's the pitch by Riley, and it's low and outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. That ball hit the center by Lucas, was definitely carried by that wind. Here's the pitch, swung on, a slow roller left to the third baseman. Kramer comes in on the grass to field it and throw to first base for the out. Ludwig out third to first. Sukiyasu goes to second. And the batter is Andrew Ramirez, the left fielder.
Nice play by Justin, too, and if the ball didn't slow down on him that time, he possibly could have gone for 2 and ended the inning right there, but he made the smart play. Ball slowed down, so he charged, got the easy out at first, and now you're 1 away from going to the sticks.
So Ramirez, the right-handed batter, waits, and the pitch hits the low outside corner from McSherry for a strike, and it's 0-1. 2-0 Vegas. They've had 3 hits in the inning. One strike on Ramirez. Here's the set by McSherry. The pitch is swung on and missed. A pitch away, and it's 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes. Ramirez, the number 6 hitter in the Vegas order. The pitch on the way is swung on, bounced up the first base line to Ferdinand. He gloves it and runs to the bag for the out. Ramirez out, first baseman Ferdinand unassisted. 2 runs on 3 hits for Vegas in the top of the first inning. There was a Rapid City error and 1 man left on base. Post 22 comes to bat here in the bottom of the first inning. It's the Camping World Firecracker American Legion Baseball Tournament from Fitzgerald Stadium, and you're listening to Post 22 Baseball from the Anytime Auto Sales Press Box on ESPN Radio, Rapid City.
Great faces, great places. Wet paint? Yep. And around here, when great places need a little love, great faces band together. Each year, First Interstate Bank employees help local organizations put a fresh coat of paint on homes of those in need. A small gesture, perhaps, but one that puts smiles on faces and strengthens bonds in the places we serve. First Interstate Bank. It's you and I together.
Anthony Ramirez is the pitcher for the Las Vegas team. He's a right-hander. And he'll face Walker Paz here in the last half of the first inning.
Anthony Ramirez defensively for Las Vegas is paired up with his partner, Justin Lucas, the catcher behind home plate. At first is Kato Sukeyasu. At second's Blake Logan. At shortstop's Tyler Donahue. And in the hot corner at third is Chase Ludwig. Left to right in the outfield, Andrew Ramirez, Julio Separich, and Parker Mayo.
See, I think you have an advantage over me on some of these tough names because you face so many of them during the hockey season.
Yeah, there's a couple. There's a couple of notable names over the years, especially the French names. Those French names will kill you if you're not careful. And I remember my broadcasting debut, play-by-play debut, I should say, with the Charlotte Checkers. We're playing against the Norfolk Admirals, and they had Pierre-Luc Letourneau-Leblanc line up at center and try Trying to say that in the heat of action was just almost impossible.
Here's Walker Paz, the second baseman, hitting .385, and he lines the first pitch out into right center field for a base hit. Scooped up by Separich out there, and Paz will hold on with a single. So Walker, first ball hitting, came in at .385, singles to right center. And that'll bring up Zach Solano hitting .355. Zach with a tied for the team lead in home runs with 6. He's got 43 RBIs, 8 doubles, 2 triples. And the pitch is a breaking ball in there for a strike, and it's 0-1.
Zach's in a 3-way tie for first on the team with 6 dingers, and he's been hitting the ball for a lot of power as this season's gone on. He's been doing great things at the plate.
Here's the set by Anthony Ramirez. The pitch is swung on, poked out into left field, and that's going to drop for a hit. And it skips by the left fielder. The center fielder, Separich, picks it up, and the runners will end up at second and third. Ramirez poorly played out there in left field. Let that ball bounce by him. It'll be a single for Solano. Paz read it very well. He was heading for third. So runners at second and third, and the batter will be Cooper Bowman. So it's going to be a double for Solano. They have not put an error up on the board. Bowman hitting .477 and takes a breaking ball strike. Cooper, who has been held hitless now in his last 3 games, he's 0 for 6. What a horrendous slump. His average has dropped from .505 to the current .477. Infield is back. 1 strike the count. Ramirez delivers, and he hits the outside corner again for strike 2, and it's 0-2.
And keep in mind, Tom, at one point in the Palouse Summer Series, Cooper had hits in 8 consecutive at-bats. Think about that. Not games, at-bats. It's absurd.
He's had 15 multi-hit games this year. 2 hits or more. The 0-2 pitch. Outside a ball. And it's 1-2 on Bowman. Paz the runner at third. And Solano at second. 2-0 Vegas, but Post 22 with a great chance here to tie up the game. Bowman with 6 homers, team leading 49 RBIs, hits a ground ball up the middle. They had him play towards the hole, and that'll be a 2-run single. The ball gets past the center fielder, and down to second base goes Bowman, and now the ball is thrown past the second baseman, rolls all the way to the first base Vegas dugout. And Bowman ends up all the way at third base. It'll be a single for Cooper. He'll get 2 RBIs, his 50th and 51st, as Paz and Solano score to tie the game. And we'll see how generous they are. There could be 2 errors on that play, one on the center fielder and then one on the throw to second. But they're only going to charge 1, allowing Bowman to go to third base. No, now they put up a second one. So there was an error on the center fielder, first of all, to let Bowman to go to second. Then he advances to third when his throw got past the second baseman. Here's Eric Petrie, the DH, hitting .402, 6 homers and 27 RBIs. 1 ball, no strikes to count. Eric has got the longest hitting streak on the team now, 6 games in a row. Swing and a miss. And it's 1-1. It's interesting, though, in his 6-game hitting streak, he's had just 1 hit in each of those 6 games. 1 ball, 1 strike, the infield back. Again, look where the shortstop, Donahue, way over towards the hole. Swing and a miss by Petrie, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. 3 consecutive hits here for Post 22 to start the game. And a couple of Vegas errors have given Post 22 a couple of extra bases. 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Struck him out. Pitch away. And Anthony Ramirez picks up strikeout number 1, and that brings up Zach Sumption.
The whole key to that at-bat was a lack of velocity. Eric's timing was thrown off. It wasn't a 79, 82-mile-an-hour fastball that Eric's normally used to seeing. Those pitches weren't coming in with much pop, and that will throw any good hitters timing off.
Sumption hitting .447, takes a breaking ball outside, ball 1.
And I will say that Ramirez absolutely loves that breaking pitch against these righties low and away. He's almost perfectly pinpointed that spot.
2 home runs for Zach, 25 RBIs. He has 8 doubles and 5 triples. Here's the pitch. Swung on, lined over the shortstop's head into left field for a base hit. And an RBI single for Sumption puts Post 22 ahead now 3-2. 4th hit of the inning.
Good hit by Zach, and I think these Hardhats hitters are starting to adjust to that. These pitches, again, they don't have much pop, and that's nothing against Ramirez because you're going to see varying speeds even all the way up at the pro level. There are guys that can't even throw over 79, but it's their stuff that makes them lethal. They're starting to realize these pitches aren't coming in with velocity. They're sitting on them, and the patience is paying off.
Swing and a miss by Ferdinand, hitting .354. Luke has 6 doubles and 18 RBIs. Sukiyasu is holding with the runner Sumption at first. The pitch on the way is swung on, hit to the second baseman Logan. He gloves it. He's going to make the play to first base for the out. Sumption goes to second. So there are 2 outs now, and they'll bring up Timmy Paris.
By the way, I think we need to give Luke a shout out. He was Male Athlete of the Week. Got a nice little plaque in the clubhouse that Coach Messer handed off to him, and that was off of our nomination there, Tom, because he just played like dynamite in the Palouse Summer Series in Pullman.
Timmy Paris hitting .292, has 2 homers and 36 RBIs. Here's the right-hander Ramirez pitch, and he hits the outside corner for a strike, and it's 0-1. Post 22 coming into the game, averaging 10.6 runs per game, a .353 team batting average. No balls and a strike. Paris leading the team with 14 doubles. He hits a foul down the right field line out of play. Count, no balls and 2 strikes. Two strikes on Paris. Sumption, the runner at second, 2 outs. 3 runs in for Post 22. They've taken a 3-2 lead. Here's the pitch on the way, and it's low and outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. One and 2 with 2 out. Here's the set by Ramirez. The pitch on the way. Paris looks at it high for a ball. And it's 2-2. With only 4 losses on the season, Post 22 has not lost back-to-back games this year. Here's the set, and Ramirez 2-2 pitch. Low and outside, a wild pitch bouncing in the dirt, allowing Sumption to go to third. So it's a full count on Timmy Paris now, with 2 outs and Sumption at third. Justin Kramer, the third baseman, is on deck. Paris, who steps back into the batter's box. Ramirez looks at third. Here's the payoff pitch. Swung on and fouled off to the right again. And the count runs along at 3-2. Outfield straight away on Paris. The center fielder Separich is playing in a few steps, which surprises me with this wind. Solano's ball was hit well, but really carried up into that jet stream. Here's the pitch on the way. Swung on, a foul again down the right field line. And the count to Paris still 3 balls and 2 strikes. The whole Firecracker tournament concludes on Tuesday, the 4th of July. How appropriate. Championship game will be played at 5 p.m. on Tuesday. 3 balls, 2 strikes. The pitch on the way, and it swung on line to left for a base hit. Trotting home Resumption. Paris on a 3-2 pitch lines a solid single to left field to drive in his 37th run of the year. 4 runs on post 22 on 5 hits here. In this first inning, they've taken a 4-2 lead.
Good on the Hardhats to retaliate and start hitting. Like you said, 4 runs on 5 hits speaks for itself. Some great contact as well. A couple of extra base errors helped the Hardhats get around the base path and score as well. And it actually looks like a quick side note, we're going to have a courtesy runner, Tommy Wall, in for Timmy Paris.
So here's Justin Kramer hitting .373, 3 home runs and 21 RBIs. Here's a throw to first base. It hits pinch runner Deming and deflects. No, it's Tommy Wall. And he appears to be okay.
Well, that would explain why he didn't take off when the ball went wild. He had some pain to deal with there.
So Kramer now waiting as Wall takes his lead from first. A pitch on the way, and it's a strike on the outside corner. One strike the count. Ramirez sets and delivers. Swung on a sharp ground ball to third. Knocked down by Ludwig. He recovers. Throws to first off target. Safe at first base is Kramer. And I would guess that'll be an error on the third baseman. Ludwig. Paris going to second. Third error of the inning for Vegas. And it brings up Connor King. Hitting .262, Connor with 2 homers and 22 RBIs. Here's the pitch on the way, and it is a strike. Connor coming back okay after that injury that took him out of the game Sunday in Pullman, when he slid into second base, caught a knee to the face. Here's the pitch on the way, and it swung on, hit right back to Ramirez, who gloves it. He'll toss to first for the out. So pitcher to first to get Connor King. But post 22 comes back in the first inning, scoring 5 runs in the first inning on 5 hits. There were 3 Las Vegas errors and 2 men left on base. 1 inning complete here from Fitzgerald Stadium. The Hardhats 4. They had 4 runs on 5 hits in that first inning. So it's 4-2. The Hardhats lead Las Vegas at the end of 1 inning of play. You're listening to Post 22 Baseball from the Anytime Auto Sales Press Box on ESPN Radio, Rapid City.
Camping World is here to help you connect to adventure and explore the outdoors with friends and family, offering new and pre-owned RVs to fit every budget and thousands of parts and accessories for any need. Camping World has it all. With over 125 supercenters nationwide, you're never far from America's #1 RV dealer. No matter where your adventures take you, whether you need an RV, parts, or service, Camping World is here to help you every step of the way. Visit Camping World in Rapid City or shop campingworld.com today.
4-2, Post 22 leads after the first inning of play. And Riley McSherry will face the lower third of the Vegas batting order. Blake Logan, the second baseman, to start things off. Right-handed batter. McSherry into the windup. Here's his pitch, and a fastball strike on the outside corner. Vegas scoring 2 runs on 3 hits in the first inning. And the 0-1 pitch is hit foul out of play to the right, and the count is 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes. And the pitch on the way. High for a ball. It's 1-2. Outfield straight away on Logan. And the pitch on the way. Breaking ball just missed. Strike 3 at the knees. Bobby Bennett calling the balls and strikes. Brings up Parker Mayo. Parker Mayo, the right fielder, number 8 hitter. Left-handed batter. McSherry's pitch. Swing and a miss. 1 strike, a foul tip into the mid of the catcher Paris. And the 1 strike pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. Vegas playing their 42nd game of the season. 14 wins and 27 losses. Here's the pitch on the way, and it's a strike on the outside corner at the knees. Mayo is called out. Back-to-back strikeouts for Riley McSherry. 2 out, nobody on, and Anthony Ramirez, the pitcher, coming up.
And for Riley, that's his 33rd and 34th strikeout. Both of them are backwards Ks in the scorebook. That's what happens when you throw first pitch strikes and when you get ahead very early in the count.
And Riley throws high and outside, ball 1.
This is the first at bat of the ball game, by the way, where he has started the first pitch off with ball 1. His first pitch strike percentage is going to skyrocket after this game.
And a strike on the low outside corner, and it's 1-1.
Riley came into the game at about 57.7% first pitch strike percentage, and his first pitch strikes lead to outs 72.4% of the time. That leads the team.
Swing and a miss. A pitch down, and it's 1-2 now on Ramirez. Hardhats 4, Las Vegas 2 here in the top of the second as Vegas bats with 2 outs and the bases empty. The pitch on the way, and it's swung on and missed for strike 3. McSherry fans the side in the 3rd inning. 3 up, 3 down, nothing across. Post 22 comes to bat in the bottom of the second. Walker Paz will lead off, and the Hardhats lead Las Vegas 4-2. You're listening to Post 22 Baseball on ESPN Radio, Rapid City.
Why do so many business people trust us? Well, we're pretty nice folks, of course, and we really know our stuff. Black Hills Insurance, a tradition of service since 1949.
Walker Paz leads off for the Hardhats here in the last half of the second. Anthony Ramirez giving up 5 hits and 4 runs in the first inning.
I'm hoping that Ramirez's defense behind him can back him up because they kind of left him out to dry on a couple instances, particularly to the tune of 3 errors charged after just 1 inning of play. So you'd like to see that cleaned up because Las Vegas came out in the top of the first competing. They were playing some good baseball offensively. And then, 3 errors, that's tough to come back from.
Walker singled to right center his first at bat, hit the first pitch of the game to him, and lined it out into right center. Anthony Ramirez winds and fires, and it's a strike over the inside corner. Wind still blowing out towards right field and briskly. Here's the one-strike pitch, swung on, and it's hit high in the air to center field. Backing off is Separich, getting to it out there now and makes the catch. Paz retired, 1 out for post 22 here in the bottom of the second. And it brings up Zach Solano. Zach got credit for a double to left center his first at bat. Scored a run. Getting a little bit dark again out to the west and to the south as Solano pokes that one into right field for a base hit. Solano's 2 for 2, hit number 6 for the Hardhats. And they have a runner at first with 1 out and Cooper Bowman up.
Well, Zach's halfway to the cycle, got the double and the single out of the way. And good hits, too. He's placed them well. They haven't been the most powerful of hits outside of his double, but he's placed the hits well. Is definitely what's helped him advance on the base path.
So Cooper Bowman, who singled to left center to drive in 2 runs, takes the pitch low and outside. Cooper increased his team-leading RBI total to 51. Snapped an 0 for 6 slump with that single to left center. 1 ball, no strikes, 1 out. Solano off at first. The pitch is an off-speed breaking ball in there for a strike. 1-1 on Bowman.
Heck, at this point, with the way that Coop's hitting, he could go 0 for 1 and he's in a slump. It's ridiculous.
As slow and off speed as Ramirez throws, I'm surprised we haven't seen more stealing attempts here. The pitch is a strike on the low outside corner. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Bowman. Zach takes his lead off at first. It's not a great lead. There he goes. He got a great jump. Throw down to second base, not nearly in time. Slide and a stolen base for Solano. 2 balls and 2 strikes now to Cooper Bowman. Solano's 15th stolen base in 16 attempts, and the team's 93rd stolen base. They've only been thrown out 8 times. Pitch is low and outside to Bowman, and it's a full count. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Solano leading from second. Ramirez sets. He's got the payoff pitch here to Bowman, and it's high for ball 4. First walk given up by Ramirez. That'll bring up Eric Petrie, who struck out swinging in the first inning. 4-2, post 22 out in front. We're in the last half of the second. Solano at second, Bowman at first with 1 out. Pitch to Petrie is ripped foul outside of third, 1 strike. No balls and a strike. Here's the set. And the pitch. Steer right on the outside corner at the knees. Good pitch by Ramirez, and he's ahead of Petrie 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes. And the pitch. A high foul out of play to the right. Still 2 strikes on Petrie with Zach Sumption on deck. Ramirez ready again. Here's the set. The 0-2 to Petrie. Swung on, a fly ball to right field. Back goes Mayo. He's in front of the warning track, and he makes the catch. Tagging up from second is Solano. He'll go to third. Holding at first is Bowman, 2 outs. Petrie didn't quite get all of that, and it was caught by Mayo in front of the warning track in right field. So 2 outs. Runners at first and third, and Zach Sumption up. Zach singled to left, knocked in a run in the first inning.
Yeah, you're absolutely right on that, Tom. Eric just got a little bit under the ball, and if that's a little more of a level approach to it in his swing, he's touching them all, and he's got a 3-bagger on his hands. Or 3 runs, I should say. 3-run homer. Although if it went off the wall, he still could have had a 3-bagger, so it sort of in a roundabout way it made sense.
Here's the set by Ramirez now in the pitch. Runner at first goes. The pitch is a ball. No throw to second base. So Bowman takes second. Sumption with a count of 1 ball. Infield, of course, is back with 2 outs. Here's the pitch on the way, and that's a strike at the knees, and it's 1-1. Sumption, who's done just a great job in left field, has hit the ball extremely well since he was called up early in the season from the Expos. And a strike on the outside corner. It's 1-2. Zach only played a handful of games with the Expos. I think he had something like 20 at-bats with them when he was called up. And as we said, Mitch Messer put him in left field, and no reason to take him out. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch on the way. Swing and a miss. Breaking ball down. And it's no runs on a hit for post 22 in the second inning. No Vegas errors and 2 men left on. 2 complete. Hardhats 4. Las Vegas 2 at the end of 2 innings here from Fitzgerald Stadium. It's the Camping World 2017 Firecracker Tournament. From the Anytime Auto Sales Press Box, you're listening to Post 22 Baseball on ESPN Radio, Rapid City.
With more than 300 pediatric experts in 35 specialty areas, Sanford Children's offers the care that matters to your family. At the Castle of Care, we are committed to bringing in the latest and most advanced technology and services to care for your children. And having the largest team of specialists in the region means your child can receive expert, individualized care close to home. At Sanford Children's, we promise to put your family first. To learn more, visit childrens.sanfordhealth.org.
Well, I just peeked out of the press box door here to the west. It's pretty dark to the west. Looks like there might be some rain over the hills right now, and they do have now a 50% chance of rain sometime around 8 p.m. this evening, decreasing to 30% by 9 p.m. and then ending by 10. So we'll see how this all develops. Post 22 leading 4-2 as we go to the top half of the third inning. Julio Separich, the center fielder. Separich had an infield single to deep short. Actually, Bowman got to the ball a step or 2 on the outfield grass. Right-handed batter. Riley McSherry's retired 5 in a row, delivers a fastball outside, ball 1. Riley fanned the side in the second inning. 1 ball to count on Separich. The right-handed batter waits. McSherry delivers, swung on, popped up, shallow right field. In comes Solano. He has it for the out in shallow right. 1 down, and that'll bring up Tyler Donahue, the shortstop. Donahue had a sacrifice bunt in the first inning. Left-handed batter. Here's the pitch on the way. Swung on a hard ground ball, hit to the right of Paz, and it goes off his glove and trickles into shallow right center field. So Donahue is on, and they're going to give him a base hit. That'll be hit number 4 for Vegas. So that brings up Justin Lucas, the catcher. Run scoring double his first at bat. Later came in to score. Right-handed batter, big right-handed hitter. Swing and a miss at a breaking ball. And it's 0-1. Ferdinand holding with Donahue at first. McSherry goes to the stretch. He delivers. And it's low, another breaking ball, and it's 1-1. One ball, one strike. Here's the set. And the pitch. Strike two on the outside corner, knee high. McSherry jumps ahead at a ball and 2 strikes. Sukiyasu, the first baseman, is on deck. Here's the pitch. Low and outside, 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes here in the top of the third. Vegas bats with a runner at first and 1 out. Post 22 leading by a score of 4-2. Here's a quick throw to first, and Donahue is back. Post 22 double play depth. They've turned 40 double plays on the season in their 37 games. There's a bouncing ball. This could be 2. Pause to Bowman. Bowman to Ferdinand, a double play. Lucas doesn't run real well, and that really helped out. 4-6-3 double dip for Post 22, their 41st of the season. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and nobody left on. At the end of 2.5 innings of play, the Hardhats 4, Las Vegas 2. From the Anytime Auto Sales press box, it's Post 22 Baseball on ESPN Radio, Rapid City.
You don't have to try to hit a home run when you're hitting singles and doubles all day. Consistency wins games, and it's key to helping achieve your retirement goals. At Weitzel Financial Group, they believe they're there to help with your own ideals and goals. Head toward your field of dreams. Call Weitzel Financial Group for a consultation at 348-1152. Kurt Weitzel is a registered representative and investment advisor representative with and offers securities and advisory services through Commonwealth Financial Network member FINRA SIPC, a registered investment advisor. Weitzel Financial Group, 817 9th Street, Rapid City, South Dakota, 57701.
Trusted Choice Insurance agents are independent agents.
I pledge to be your guide, not only to insurance, but to insurance companies.
They don't actually work for any one insurance company.
And to use my independence to identify the coverage that's best for you.
This means they can customize policies from several companies in ways that other agents just can't. And they commit to that.
And I pledge.
In writing. Trusted Choice. You need an independent insurance agent.
Black Hills Insurance Agency, a tradition of service since 1949.
Last half of the third inning, and Luke Ferdinand will lead off for Post 22. I noticed Bobby Bennett, the home plate umpire, was pointing back towards the press box here to our left, where they have the PA and the scoring, and pointing up to the sky. I think he wanted to make sure that the people up here were keeping track of what the weather was looking like out to the west and any possible lightning. I haven't seen any lightning so far.
That was me knocking on wood.
Was that what you were hitting on my head?
No, I was hitting that on my head.
Oh.
Yeah.
Your head isn't wood. It's metal.
So I'm hard-headed and I'm dense. Gee, thanks.
Here's Ferdinand, who grounded out to second his first at bat. The left-handed batter takes the pitch inside for ball 1. Anthony Ramirez, 6 hits against, 4 runs over the first 2 innings. All 4 runs for Rapid City scored in the first. There's a drive in the left center, and that's going to be in for a base hit. It's going to skip through the outfielders and roll to the fence in left center, and Luke has a stand-up double. His 7th double of the season. Hit number 7 for post 22, a leadoff two-base hit here for Ferdinand to start the last half of the 3rd inning. Here's Timmy Paris, who singled to left, knocked in a run in the 1st.
How many times have we seen Luke do that in the last couple of games that he's played? He is hitting for power. He's hitting all over the place, and he's doing it consistently, which is just fantastic.
Here's the pitch. Swung on. There it goes. A high drive to left field. Way back out there, and it is off the fence. Stopping at third, having to wait to see if the ball would have been caught as Ferdinand, as Paris just missed a home run, hitting it off the left field fence. Boy, Timmy hit that one so high. And it's a double for Paris, his 15th double of the year. Boy, I thought that ball was surely out when it left the bat, but he didn't miss by much, but it is just a double. And Ferdinand had to hang on to see if the ball was caught by the other Ramirez out there in left field. So it's 2nd and 3rd. Here's Justin Kramer.
And of all the times for the wind to not carry the ball, that's the time you wanted the elements to help you out. And granted, the wind is still blowing, Tom, but not nearly as ferociously as it was earlier. But if we still had that same wind power from earlier, Timmy's touching them all, and the Hardhats have added 2 more runs to the scoreboard.
Tommy Wall's going to come in and pinch run for her courtesy run for Paris.
By the way, Tom, dating back to when the Hardhats started off the Palouse Summer Series, Luke Ferdinand now has 4 doubles.
Here's the pitch, and Kramer takes an off-speed pitch for a strike. Justin reached on an error his first at bat. So post 22 with a 4-2 lead here in the last half of the 3rd inning. Have runners at 2nd and 3rd and nobody out. Infield is back. Here's Ramirez from the set. He delivers. And a strike called, and it's 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes. And the pitch. Line to left center, a base hit. That's going to score a couple of runs. Ferdinand scores. Here's Kramer with a big turnaround first. He'll hold up. Paris, I should say Wall, the courtesy runner, scores. Justin with a 2-run single. 22nd and 23rd RBIs, and it's 6-2 for the Hardhats here in the 3rd inning. Still nobody out. Connor King tapped back to the pitcher, his first at bat. Here's the set by Anthony Ramirez. His pitch, breaking ball, strike. And it's 0-1. One strike on King. Here's the set and the pitch. Runner going. The pitch is a strike. The throw to second is not in time. Stolen base for Kramer. So he's at second now with nobody out. Here's the pitch on the way. Strike 3 on the outside corner to Connor, and he is called out. 3rd strikeout for Anthony Ramirez. Here's Walker Paz, who was singled to right center and flied out to center. Here's the pitch on the way. Walker hits a hard ground ball right through the legs of the first baseman, Sukiyasu. And in to score comes Kramer. Well, that's got to be an error. First baseman Suki Asu committing the error. Third run of the inning, 7-2. Hardhats now here in the third. And it brings up Zach Solano.
It's going to be in the scorebook as an E3, but humorously, you could score that as an E5 because it went right through his 5-hole over there at first, right between his legs. Glove wasn't down. That just seems like a very simple fielding play there at first.
And the pitch to Solano is low and outside a ball. Solano has doubled to left center, scored in the first, single to right in the second. 1 out here in the third inning, 3 runs in. Hardhats leading 7-2. Ramirez working from the set. And he'll throw to first base, and it's off the mitt of Sukiyasu, and down to second base goes Paz. Another error. That's 5 errors now for the Las Vegas team. Solano with a count of 1 ball. Here's the set now by Ramirez. A look back at second. Here's the pitch on the way, and Solano takes a strike at the letters. 1 ball, 1 strike. Now Ramirez looking back again at Paz at second base. The pitch on the way is swung on and fouled at the plate. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
By the way, Tom, there was just a platoon of Hardhats and even more now going over to the post-22 bullpen. So I don't know how much longer Riley's going to go in this start. He's obviously doing well, so you can make the call on whether or not you want to give your bullpen some work, but just something to look forward to as the game progresses.
What they might be doing, too, is getting the tarp ready down there.
That could be true.
1 ball, 2 strikes. The pitch is a ball just outside. Zach looked it over carefully, took the pitch, and it was ruled a ball. And it's 2-2.
I'd normally like to see Zach try and protect a pitch like that, but he's the better hitter than the two of us, so I'm going to leave that judgment up to him. That was still a good call on his part.
2 balls and 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. And it's high, and the count is full. Three balls, 2 strikes. Here's Ramirez looking back at second at Paz. The payoff pitch, high and tight for ball 4. So Solano down to first base. Second walk given up by Ramirez, and it brings up Cooper Bowman. Here comes the pitching coach for Vegas out.
You know, I got to give this Vegas team a ton of credit. Talked about the adversity that they have earlier of just a 10-man roster coming into this Firecracker tournament, and this is not an easy tournament to be coming in with just 10 players. You look at the Hardhats and their lineup card, granted they are home, but their lineup card's overflowing. Heck, even in Pullman, their lineup card was overflowing, and there were a couple of teams that we saw only had 14, 15 bodies and whatnot. But Ramirez, he's not throwing poorly. His pitch count is up. He's just thrown his 60th pitch to walk Zach Solano. Yeah, he's walked 2, but that's it. He's walked 2. He struck out 3. Anything the Hardhats have done, they've earned, unless his defense has let something through, according to 5 errors on the scoreboard there. So give Ramirez a ton of credit. He's pitching as well as he can with everything that he's given right now.
Cooper Bowman, a 2-run single to left center in the first. He walked in the second. Bats here in the third with 2 on and 1 out. Ramirez delivers. Swing and a miss. 1 strike. Post 22 with 3 hits in the inning, 9 hits now in the game. They lead 7-2. The pitch on the way. It's a strike on the outside corner. 2 strikes on Bowman. Left fielder Ramirez is playing a deep left field. Here's the set by Anthony Ramirez. The pitch on the way, and it's a ball outside. And it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Broadcast time tomorrow night will be around 8 p.m. Post 22 will play Mountain West, Utah. 8 p.m. here on ESPN Radio and Hardhat TV. And now it looks like they're going to take the teams off the field. Apparently the base umpire spotted some lightning off to the west. And do we have some rain coming down also? The crowd has gotten up and they are filing back. And we are going to have a delay here.
Well, how about this for a first time? You and I have not had a rain delay yet.
We have not, have we?
Now, I handled rain delays a little differently while you were absent. So with you and your wealth of experience, you probably have different protocols for how we do rain delays. I'm kind of hungry. I say we order a pizza up here and we wait this thing out. What do you think? I think Domino's delivers to Rudy's Corner, right?
Well, I think they do.
And what's the address?
And what are we going to split it? Half and half?
Oh, I mean, absolutely.
Half,
yeah.
I want beef.
You want beef? You want beef pizza? Okay.
3 quarters, and then a slice for you.
See, this is a moment where we need a third microphone so Destin can chime in on this conversation here.
I mentioned beef because when we were in Washington, as you recall, I tried to order that pizza that night and order hamburger, and the gal didn't know what I was talking about.
That's right. That's right. Totally forgot about that.
I'm just going to take a quick peek out here to the west.
Well, like Tom did mention, folks, as we're trying to get our Domino's plans ready here for this weather delay, there is a slight delay. For how long it will be, we don't exactly know. But I would have to guarantee there has to be a certain time allotment to it. And you can correct me if I'm wrong here, Tom, but normally when it comes to protocol of lightning spotted, there's a minimum time that needs to be elapse before play begins. Is that the same when it comes to American Legion with lightning, that it has to be like a minimum 30-hour delay or something? Or 30-minute delay, I mean.
30 hours would be a little long, I would think.
But, I was torn between 30 minutes or a half hour, and my brain got screwed up. Sometimes words are hard.
I don't know if there's any official Legion rules. I think the high schools in football, when they still have thunderstorms in September and there's lightning, they'll take a half hour or something. But I think it's more or less what you see with your eyes and also what the forecast is as far as how long you may delay. I looked out to the west. It doesn't look bad at all. It looks like this could move through fairly rapidly, and there's blue skies you can see off to the west. So, again, just a safety concern here. I've seen no lightning in the air. Maybe you haven't, but I haven't seen any. And
no, I didn't see anything. I saw plenty of lightning earlier, though, at around 5:15, 5:20. I actually had to go back to the Rush office and grab my phone charger and ran into Armageddon on the way to the office. And, of course, I'm coming back to the Fitz, and it's blue skies like nothing had happened. So, we just kind of go on with it. You don't like the weather, you wait 5 minutes. So maybe it's a minimum 5-minute delay because we're in South Dakota, and that's just the way it is, right?
You don't have thunderstorms back in New York?
Oh, we have thunderstorms, but at least back in New York, and especially in North Carolina, too, the weather makes its mind up. If it's going to rain, then it's going to rain. If it's going to be sunny, then it's going to be sunny. It's not like Sybil over here where 1 second it's rain and then the weather doesn't know what to do with itself, and before you know it, it's 105 degrees, and then, for all we know, in 10 minutes we could have a blizzard on our hands. So The weather in South Dakota just doesn't know how to make its mind up.
Yes, but that's what makes it exciting out here. You can be old and boring in New York and the North Carolina and know what your days are going to be, but here it's exciting. You don't know what's going to happen 1 hour to the next.
Oh yeah, no, it's not exciting over there. Okay, shots fired. I see. All right.
No, you were saying that you didn't like our weather because it wasn't. If it's going to be sunny, and if it was going to be stormy, be stormy.
Mm-hmm.
Can't you have stormy in the day during the morning and then nice in the afternoon?
I mean, why not just have nice the whole day?
Well, why not? Yes, but you can't have nice the whole day, can you?
I mean, not with that kind of attitude, you can't.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and talk about tomorrow because we have 6 games here tomorrow starting at 7:30 in the morning with Missoula taking on Eden Prairie, Minnesota. Then at 10 o'clock, Premier West out of Denver will play Eden Prairie. Eden Prairie, as you probably might have heard, won the Minnesota High School Baseball Championship, the Class 5A tournament. Premier West will play Rocky Mountain at 12:30. Rocky Mountain won the Colorado High School tournament. 3 o'clock, this Las Vegas team will play Rocky Mountain. At 5:30, Yakima will play Mountain West Utah, Yakima, Washington. And Post 22 in Mountain West Utah tomorrow night. At 8 o'clock, we'll have the broadcast here on ESPN Radio and Hardhat TV. And then Friday, Post 22, will be their doubleheader day. On Friday, they'll play at 12:30 against Missoula on Hardhat TV. And then at 8 o'clock Friday night against Premier West out of Colorado on ESPN Radio and Hardhat TV. And then Saturday night, Sunday night, and Monday night, all at 7 o'clock on ESPN Radio and Hardhat TV, and then 5 o'clock Tuesday. Now, what we've been told is they have the championship game scheduled for 5 p.m. The 4 games on Tuesday, the 4th of July, the final day of the tournament. The 7th place game will begin at 9:30 in the morning, the 5th place at noon, 3rd place at 2:30, and the championship game at 5. However, if Post 22 is not in that championship game, there's a strong chance, strong probability, almost a certainty that Post 22 will still play the 5 o'clock game no matter what placement they're playing for on Tuesday night. And so we'll keep that in the back of our minds. Hopefully Post 22 will qualify for that championship game on Tuesday. This Camping World Firecracker Tournament dedicated to the memory of Dave Plouffe. Coach Plouffe created this 3-day, at that time was a 3-day 18 tournament in 1975, which grew into today's 7-day format and one of the top American Legion baseball tournaments in the country. Just one of the many legacies left by former coach Dave Plouffe.
Now let's dive into that a little bit here, Tom, because I do recall you all the times that we've reminisced about this tournament. At what point did it change from 3 days to 7 days, and what was the mindset behind it?
I can't remember. And it didn't jump from 3 days to 7 days right away. It kind of transitioned. I can't really remember what year it did, but as I recall, it went from a 3-day, I believe, to a 5-day tournament, and then eventually to the 7-day tournament, which has been probably at least 15, 20 years now, the 7-day format. But yeah, I can't remember exactly when it changed.
Now we've talked about different moments. We've talked about the first Firecracker, your big memory from there, the rained out championship game. We've talked about your favorite opponent. Let's talk your favorite Firecracker all time. It can't be the first one, even though that is a very memorable one for you, because everybody remembers their first. Your most memorable Firecracker in the last 40 that you've seen out of the 43.
It was the year that Omaha Creighton Prep came in here, which was known as Omaha Roberts at the time, but still the same prep high school. As I think we talked about this one day on the road or something. Came in, heated rivalry at that time between Post 22 and Creighton Prep. We had met during the regular season for quite a few seasons. We went to their tournament in Omaha, and they came here and they pulled that phantom infield on us when they did the infield without the baseball. We had a large crowd, and they came out, and people say, well, what do you mean without the baseball? They ran the infield. They had the coach hitting the ball. The third baseman would come in and field it, make the throw to first like there was a baseball being played, but there wasn't. There was no baseball, the fly balls to the outfield. And that was really, you kind of showed up the home team by doing something like that. And I remember Coach Plouffe never said anything to his team. And they had a great ball club, and we 10-runned them in that game. And I'm just convinced thoroughly that if they wouldn't have pulled that stunt in that phantom infield, that it would have been a tough ball game. But as it turned out, it wasn't. And we run it in 5 innings. I think it was 12-0 or something like that. And but that phantom infield was I looked out there and I thought I had lost my sight or something. I couldn't see a ball, and I was wondering what in the world. And then I finally figured it out that they weren't using a baseball on their infield.
A phantom infield. I don't think I've ever heard of that.
Well, it was done occasionally by some teams. I don't know what the purpose of it was. It was kind of to I thought it was always to try to show up the home team or try to throw a psychological curveball at you. And it didn't work for Omaha Creighton Prep at that time. And like I said, they had a great ball club. We played them many years, and they did a lot of were very tough in Nebraska. But that's probably the one I remember.
I just did a quick Google search of phantom infield, and apparently it's on a coaching tips page. And it's used to break up tension. If your team's feeling really tense, you just go out there and you have a couple of yucks and you do a phantom infield just to kind of relieve some of your pressure. But I think I've got to agree more with you that it's a way of showing up the opponent. I mean, I don't know why you would still do it. I think there are better ways to show up your opposition or try and intimidate your opposition, but I guess to each their own.
That's the only time I've ever seen it done. I've never seen it done since then. And like I said, that was probably around 1978, 79, 80, probably somewhere in that era.
Wow, that is remarkable. I hope I never get to see that. But if I ever do, I can recall this conversation and you pointing it out. And yeah, how about that?
What's really amazing is that you could type that into Google, Google search it, and find out what it is. That's what is amazing to me.
Well, that's the knee-jerk reaction of our day and age now. If you don't know anything, Google it. That's just how it goes. It's unbelievable.
It's funny because I actually did Google something today too.
Oh.
And fans, bear with me, but this is what I did.
Oh, this is going to be a good one.
No, not necessarily. It's just everyday life. I was out working in the yard. I have a hose hooked up on the north side of my home, and it's been leaking rather badly. And I've tried taping it. I've tried to remove I worked on it. So I Googled today, how do you repair a leaky faucet, outdoor faucet? So I Googled that.
And did it give you a YouTube tutorial? Was it helpful at all?
Yeah, it was kind of helpful, but needless to say, I'm going to the hardware store tomorrow and get somebody who really knows what's going on.
I believe it.
Now, what was your day today? How did you feel your day?
Oh,
I heard you had a great day.
Oh, yeah. It was that was a good one. Nice little stressful one. Trying to get some things taken care of for content for the team. We've got a lot of big things coming up these next couple of days, particularly on Friday. We're going to announce a new player for the Rush for this upcoming season, a brand new person who's never played for the Rush. He's played against the Rush multiple times as a member of the Missouri Mavericks back in the Central Hockey League days, and last year was the leading goal scorer on his club. It wasn't one of the better clubs in the league, but which makes that all the more impressive that on a team that he wasn't really surrounded with talent, he could shine and he could really give his team a fighting chance. So I'm looking forward to speaking with this gentleman tomorrow to get his quotes for his press release. And Friday we will have a very big centerman come to this Rush team. So I'm very much looking forward to this gentleman and what offense he's going to provide our club.
If you just tuned in, Mark and I have not lost our senses. The game is being delayed here, a weather delay. That's why we are talking about stuff that probably we wouldn't be able to discuss under normal circumstances. We're in the last half of the third inning. The Hardhats are leading 7-2 over Las Vegas. And when play resumes, runners at first and second, 1 out, and Cooper Bowman is a count of 1 ball and 2 strikes. And we still really haven't had just a few sprinkles, but nothing of any amount. We have some umbrellas popping up of what the crowd has left. A lot of the crowd has looked for cover or gone back out to their cars in the parking lot. But that's where we are.
Well, it's interesting because when you were going on the Phantom Infield story, I did notice a flash over Skyline Drive. So I did say it wasn't a distinctive bolt, but it was a flash. You could tell lightning was somewhere off in the distance, but it wasn't anything super grand or what have you that looked like it was impending doom. So the elements, we're still trying to figure them out. I'm not seeing too much precipitation now, so that must have died down. But I guess with some of the flashes that they've been seeing, the umpires and our field crew and whatnot, I guess they're just taking the precaution. And better be safe than fried by lightning. So probably for the best.
Well, you talk about morbid thoughts. Fried by lightning is a pretty morbid thought.
It was the first thing that came to mind. Better be safe than sorry. Well, in this case, sorry could be getting struck. So
I wouldn't want to be fried.
I wouldn't want to be fried either. You know, it's so funny. One of the funniest things that I love during rain delays and weather delays, especially watching college baseball, is when the teams will have like a mock game against each other. And the catchers will put like a shortstop on their shoulders and they'll have a joust with the bats. They'll have like a chicken fight joust or something, or the team will bowl with themselves. I saw the unfortunate rival of my college, Clemson, actually pulled that off. They set 10 men up just like pins. They had a smaller gentleman that was athletic and flexible roll, and they had the pitcher roll the player, and he would turn himself in and roll himself into his teammates, and they would act like pins and fall down. It's a shame we can't do anything like that up here, the three of us.
I can remember that happening on this field during some rain delays over the years. Teams had their little antics, and the bowling was one of them. I remember some players acting as pins, and there was something else one team did sometime. Of course, the belly flop and sliding on the tarp is always a big one too, but I just can't remember who did the bowling pin one, and it was quite a few years ago, maybe 10 years ago or so.
I do recall, I think it was 2 seasons ago in the MLB, somebody was putting the tarp out during a rain delay, and there was some heavy winds, and the poor individual got taken under the tarp and was just flopping around like a rag doll. And I think one of the players that was trying to help with the tarp came in and saved the young lady and brought her out. But that was definitely something crazy with all that wind, and the person just with the force, some whiplash on the tarp, and she went flying underneath. And it was kind of humorous when you look at it, but I mean, she could have been hurt, but luckily she wasn't.
She probably didn't get out of there laughing like she thought it was very funny, but that happened here too. That was the other. You're right. That's happened. You see that a little bit happen when somebody gets swept underneath the tarp. Well, we don't have to worry about that with our tarps right now. One is over home plate, one is over the pitching mound, and they're still trying to let this big cloud pass over the ballpark here, and then we should be able to begin. I wouldn't think, again, unless I'm going to take another peek out here to the west. Mark?
Tom's going into amateur meteorology mode here, so just to make sure that we're all okay. Next thing you know, we're going to have a windsock hanging on the top of the press box. Tom is a classic. I'll tell you that. Oh, for those just joining us, we actually just saw another flash of lightning out to the left of us here, to our eastern side. For those of you just joining us, with all the antics that Tom and I and Destin and I are trying to pull off up here, we are in the middle of a weather delay. And, Tom, we did see just another flash not too far over there, so I don't know if that's going to add more time to our wait, but
you didn't see it as good as I just did standing outside there. And yeah, there's this one cloud that's just off to our north and a little bit to the west that's a little ominous. But again, there isn't much depth to it. we can see clear skies, but we'll probably have to, I don't know, take a little break here.
How's that Domino's order coming? Are we gonna get them to deliver to Rudy's?
Well, that's actually what I went out for.
Oh, okay, there you go. Yeah, just to make sure that the delivery guy knew the way to get in through the front gate. You think I'm kidding about this pizza? Like, I'm actually legit serious. I think we should order a pizza.
Okay, I'm ready. I'm game.
Let me pull up Domino's on the online order here. So we're gonna go beef pizza here, right? Half beef, half pepperoni. Is that what we're looking at?
That's what we're looking at.
Okay. Cool deal.
I'm buying the pizza.
No,
tonight.
I got the pizza. It's my idea. I'm buying it.
No.
Nope, I got it.
No, you know, people are seeing us exposed here. What we're like when we're not on the air. It's like
Chris Halgo and company. They're probably wondering
coronaries right now.
Oh boy, sorry guys. We're just having fun. We're just having a boatload of fun.
Well, what's this? 50 cents, Destin. What's this?
That's pizza's on me.
What do you want? One bite?
This kid.
That won't pay for it all.
Folks, if you haven't met Destin in real life, he's a real clown sometimes. He's a real clown sometimes. All right. No, I got this, Tom. Don't worry about it. Throw that right there. All right. So we're gonna need use other address. We're gonna call this a campus or a base, I think. Actually, no, we're not. Never mind, because that's giving me. Here we go. What is the address to Rudy's Corner? That's a good question. Well, for those just joining us, I'm ordering a pizza for the broadcast booth here as we're in the middle of a weather delay. Post 22 has a 7-2 lead over Las Vegas here in the very first game of the 2017 Camping World Firecracker tournament. And what a great tournament this has been. Over the last 42 years, this is the 43rd running of the Firecracker. And just what a fantastic opportunity this is for everybody to become involved, and all these teams from across the United States that come out. I remember last year we had a team all the way from Colchester, Vermont that came out. We've had Merced, California come out in the past. Yakima, Washington's back here, and Tom mentioned they're tied Floyd Fitzgerald Stadium for all of American Legion immortality, winning the 1975 American Legion World Series that was played at this very ballpark. It's just great to see all the talent that comes around as we go to this 43rd edition of the tournament. I'm going to have to confirm some information with you here, Tom, because if the fans also haven't caught on, we're ordering a pizza here for the booth. Our address here at Floyd Fitzgerald Stadium is 2721 Canyon Lake Drive, right?
That's what I understand.
Perfect. That's what we're going to go with.
If it's delivered properly, it'll be a miracle.
I'll put in the notes, Floyd Fitzgerald Stadium, come up to the press box, and here's hoping that the delivery man jumps on it.
Well, let's hope they'll let him in at the front gate. You're going to be in trouble with the concession people.
They know that this is for good old-fashioned comedy and for...
If this is comedy, boy, I would...
We're setting a standard for American Legion baseball broadcast teams. I mean, at least that's how I look at it.
I can see my whole career going down the tubes here in one night.
Heck, I can see mine launching. What are you? You're crazy up here? I think we're going to be on SportsCenter tonight. Steve Levy is going to be talking about the highlight of the Firecracker tournament. By the way, this just in, the Post 22 radio crew in the most epic of fashions just ordered a Domino's pizza.
Well, personally, ESPN would be the last network I'd want to be on, so I'm not too excited about that.
And in the most anticlimactic of sequences of events, they don't offer delivery to this location. At least online. So that means that I just have to put in a nice phone call. So I'm going to retire now from this press box and make it happen.
Can we take a break can we give our listeners a break?
Okay, we can go to normal ESPN programming, and we'll catch back with the game in just a few moments. We are in a weather delay. We'll keep you as informed as we possibly can, folks. For right now, we're going to return you to normal ESPN radio programming here in Rapid City. And when we get any updates, we'll cut on in, let you know when we're going to come back to play, and see what happens. Before we do go, I think it's worth noting that Las Vegas is lining up their bats for mini bowling. They're putting cups out as pins. They're going to use a baseball, and they're using their bats to signify the outside of the lanes, and I think they're challenging the Hardhats. Is that what you're seeing?
Yeah, whatever that is, yeah, they're doing something. I'm not sure what it is.
I think they're challenging Post 22. Oh, yes, they are. So, okay, so I see what they're doing now. So from across the dugout, so Las Vegas in front of their dugout, they've got their bats lined up like their lane. They have Powerade cups as their pins. But they have the Hardhats throwing the ball, not rolling it from their side of the dugout. So that's quite a distance to throw. But it's a very good idea by this Las Vegas club. We've got to give them credit. Well, their antics continue. Our antics continue up here. We're going to try and get a hold of Domino's and order this pizza here. But we will be back from this weather delay, hopefully soon. And we'll be rocking and rolling with Las Vegas and Post 22. As it stands, we have one out. A 1-2 count to Cooper Bowman, who has men on first and second here in the bottom half of the third, and Post 22 has a 7-2 lead. We'll be right back. Here's normal ESPN radio programming on ESPN Radio Rapid City.
know it sends me to the peak. Can't we find any light without the music around? There will always be one love on life. Without no love, you got no regret. Without no revenge, you got no love.
Bush back at Fitzgerald Stadium. We're almost set to resume. Our weather delay is almost over here with the Hardhats holding a 7-2 lead over Las Vegas in the bottom half of the third inning. When play resumes, Walker Paz will be at second. Zach Solano will be at first. There is one out. Cooper Bowman is at the plate with a 1-ball, 2-strike count as the Vegas Ball Club takes the field. And their poor pitcher is going to continue, Anthony Ramirez, after this delay, which I forgot to write down the time that we started our delay, but I would guess it's close to an hour.
Just about. And on top of all of that, after this delay is over, we will have a half beef and half pepperoni pizza from Domino's in this booth. So I think it was a win-win for everybody here in this rain delay.
You own stock in Domino's or something?
I just like Domino's. It was the first thing that came to mind.
You have an obsession with a pizza tonight. There's something. When you feel stressed, do you like to eat?
I'm half Italian. It's natural to immediately venture to pizza and spaghetti.
Well, I'm not Italian, and I venture to pizza and spaghetti. Well, Post 22 scored 4 runs in the first inning. At Vegas had scored 2 in the top of the first to take a 2-0 lead. Post 22 scored 4 runs in the first, and they've added 3 more here in the third for that 7-2 lead. And here we're set to go now at Fitzgerald Stadium. We've lost about half of our crowd as Bowman steps in with a 1-2 count. Cooper had that 2-run single in the first inning to give him 51 RBIs on the season now, which leads the team. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Swung on a high fly ball down the left field line, down towards the corner. Ramirez doesn't see it. Now he picks it up, and it's a foul ball. So the count runs along at a ball and 2 strikes. That was a high fly ball. If Ramirez could have picked the ball up right away, he might have caught that ball. Probably would have caught it. It landed about 6 or 7 feet foul. So the count to Cooper still 1 ball and 2 strikes.
That's got to be awkward for Cooper. It's one thing if you've started an at-bat or you're about to start an at-bat and then you have the delay, but you were in the middle of it and you're down in a 1-2 hole. That's got to be very awkward.
1 ball, 2 strikes now on Bowman. Here's the set. And the pitch on the way. Low and outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes to count. Sukiyasu is playing a deep first base in back of Solano. Here's the set by Ramirez, the 2-2 pitch, and Bowman looks at it high, and it's a full count. 3-2 with Eric Petrie on deck. A lot of baseball here at Fitzgerald Stadium over the next 7 days, including 6 games tomorrow. Here's the pitch. Low and outside, ball 4, and Bowman walks. So the bases are loaded, 1 out. Eric Petrie, the cleanup hitter, the DH, has struck out and flied to right. Eric with his 6-game hitting streak on the line tonight, 0 for 2. Infield comes in at the corners now. Shortstop Donahue, second baseman Logan remain deep. Here's the set by Ramirez. The pitch to Petrie is swung on and hit foul, back and out of play. 1 strike on Eric. Came in with an average of .402. It's dipped below 400, is 0 for 2 so far tonight. Here's the pitch on the way. Swung on, bounced towards short. Fielded by Donahue. Throw to second for 1. Back to first, not in time. Petrie gets credit for an RBI, his 28th of the season, as Paz scores from third. Solano goes to third. Bowman forced out at second. Petrie safe at first. Runners at the corners, 2 outs. And it's now 8-2, Rapid City. And Zach Sumption, the 9th man to hit here in the 3rd inning, coming up. Sumption singled to left, knocked in a run in the 1st inning, scored a run, struck out in the 2nd. And Ramirez delivers. High and inside, ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. Here's the pitch. Low and away. And it's 2-0. Two balls and no strikes. Anthony Ramirez delivers. Swung on a drive to center field. Separich is not going to get to it. It's going to bounce over his head. Roll right beneath the 393 sign in left center field. Heading for third is Sumption. The relay to third, not in time. It's a triple. A 2-run triple for Zach Sumption, scoring Solano and Petrie. Sumption's 6th triple of the year. He's got 3 RBIs tonight, 28 on the season. And it's 10-2. The Hardhats have the lead. And here's Luke Ferdinand up.
And the Hardhats have batted through the order, too. Good on Zach Sumption. Absolutely destroyed that ball to a wide open gap in left center, and he was going for 3 the second the ball came off his bat.
First pitch is a ball to Ferdinand, who has grounded out to second and doubled to left center and scored a run. Ramirez sets. He delivers. A ball low and inside. 2 balls and no strikes on Ferdinand. Four hits in this inning for Post 22. They have 10 in the game. 10 runs on 10 hits for the Hardhats. 2 runs on 4 hits for Vegas. And now time is called. The assistant coach for Vegas is going out to the mound. And I think he went to check with the umpire before he went out about something, whether this might be an injury-related visit or something, but I don't think it is. But I'm not sure what he was talking to Bobby Bennett about.
I would assume if he was checking to see if there was anything injury related, it wouldn't count against his mound visits to come out there to remove the pitcher.
But it didn't look like they were talking a lot about injuries, more about how we're going to get out of this inning. So Ferdinand stepping back in with a count of 2 balls. Sumption at third, 2 outs. 6 runs in here for Post 22 in the 3rd inning. They have an 8-run lead. Here's the pitch. Swing and a foul back. 2-1 on Ferdinand. Again tomorrow night, right around 8 p.m. for the first pitch, as Post 22 takes on a team out of Utah. Two-one pitch, up and away for ball 3. That's Mountain West out of Utah. Three balls, 1 strike, and the pitch is swung on and fouled off to the left. It's a full count. 3-2 on Ferdinand.
That was quite a loud thud. That must have hit something hard.
Here's the set by Anthony Ramirez. The 3-2 pitch. Swung on, hit the left field. The other Ramirez comes in and grabs it for the out to retire the side. Andrew Ramirez on the catch. Ferdinand retired and post 22 down in the third inning. But they score 6 runs on 4 hits in the inning. There were a couple of Las Vegas errors and 1 man left on base. End of 3. Hardhats 10. Las Vegas 2. From the Camping World, Firecracker Baseball Tournament at Fitzgerald Stadium. You're listening to Post 22 Baseball from the Anytime Auto Sales Press Box on ESPN Radio, Rapid City.
Great faces, great places. Wet paint? Yep. And around here, when great places need a little love, great faces band together. Each year, First Interstate Bank employees help local organizations put a fresh coat of paint on homes of those in need. A small gesture, perhaps, but one that puts smiles on faces and strengthens bonds in the places we serve. First Interstate Bank. It's you and I together.
Well, we're all set for the top half of the 4th inning here at Floyd Fitzgerald Stadium for the 43rd Firecracker Tournament. Post 22, as always, in their opening matchup on the Wednesday night. They're taking on Las Vegas. Currently hold on to a 10-2 lead over the Las Vegas Post 76 club. Tom Appleyard's club has come here quite a number of years. Tom had guessed probably around the last 34, 36 of the 43 they've been here. Hardhats heading into the top of the 4th, 10 runs on 10 hits with 1 blemish on defense. Las Vegas, 2 runs on 4 hits and 5 errors. Riley McSherry to face 3, 4, and 5 in the order. It is first pitch to Kato Sukeyasu. The first baseman. It is a swing and a miss for strike 1. No balls and a strike the count, and his 0-1 pitch from McSherry is swung on, and it's popped up but foul and out of play. No balls and 2 strikes the count. So it's Kato Sukeyasu, the first baseman, up right now. Chase Ludwig, the third baseman. Andrew Ramirez, the left fielder, scheduled to hit in this top half of the 4th. Hardhats with an 8-run lead. And time is called by Sukeyasu. So no balls and 2 strikes to count. Full windup for Riley McSherry, and he deals. Swung on, ball's hit over his head. Charging in from short, Bowman on the run, throw to first in time. As now taking over at first base is Jack Sorensen. And Bowman gets the 6-3 retirement. 1 up, 1 down will bring out Chase Ludwig. So Sorensen is now in the ballgame for Luke Ferdinand. Over there at first. Here's the first pitch now to Chase Ludwig. It's hit to second. Stop is made on the play. Throw to first from Walker Paz in time. 6-3 and 4-3. 2 up, 2 down. Will bring us to Andrew Ramirez, the left fielder. So Ramirez in the ballgame is 0 for 1 with an unassisted putout at first. That was when Luke Ferdinand was in the ballgame. Ferdinand no longer playing defensively at first base. First pitch to Ramirez. This is low and away for ball 1. Hardhats have a 10-2 lead here in their first game of their 43rd running of the Firecracker. My goodness, what a tournament it's been. There's a 1-0 pitch. Called, strike at the knees of Ramirez. Nice fastball from McSherry low, and the count evens up at 1-1. Mark Benetti and Tom Rudabush alongside you for all the baseball and all of our antics upstairs as well. 1-1 pitch, swung on and fouled. Ball and 2 strikes the count. And of course, by our antics, I mean we're still waiting on a Domino's Pizza to come up here to our booth.
What do you mean, our antics?
We're a radio team.
Are we a team now?
Absolutely, we're always a team.
I'll remember that.
Here is the 1-2 pitch from McSherry. Caught him looking, strike 3, low and away on the fastball. And that is McSherry's 4th K. It's a 1-2-3 inning for the Hardhats on defense, which as always means no runs, hits, errors, or anybody left on base. And at the end of 3.5 frames, we've officially completed half of regulation. Hardhats have a 10-2 lead still intact. I'll be right back with the bottom half of the 4th. 7, 8, 9 due up for Post 22. You're listening to the official radio home of the Hardhats here on ESPN Radio, Rapid City.
Camping World is here to help you connect to adventure and explore the outdoors with friends and family, offering new and pre-owned RVs to fit every budget and thousands of parts and accessories for any need. Camping World has it all. With over 125 supercenters nationwide, you're never far from America's #1 RV dealer. No matter where your adventures take you, whether you need an RV, parts, or service, Camping World is here to help you every step of the way. Visit Camping World in Rapid City or shop campingworld.com today.
Well, Tom, victory has been achieved. We have our pizza in the booth to start off the bottom half of the 4th.
I'll tell you, I've never seen a guy so excited in my life by the viewing of a pizza.
Hey, I'm Italian. Come on.
Timmy Paris is leading off, and it's 1 ball and no strikes as the pitch goes outside. As Mark is so excited about his pizza here tonight. Here's the 1-0 pitch to Paris, and a breaking ball strike, and it's 1-1.
What a pleasant man that was. So 1-1 now here to Paris, who on the ball game is 2 for 2, an RBI single and a double. And the 1-1 swung on, ball's hit high in the air to right field. It's dying in foul territory, and it drops foul. And the count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Still on the mound here for Las Vegas is Anthony Ramirez, who just pitched his 81st pitch of this ballgame. On a very short-staffed Las Vegas club, but you've got to give him credit. He hasn't thrown a bad game. His defense hasn't helped him out. 5 errors charged to Las Vegas in this ballgame. Ball and 2 strikes the count here to Paris, leading off the bottom half of the 4th. And time's called by the Hardhats catcher. And we'll wait a little bit. Special shout out to Domino's Pizza of Rapid City. This one was located near Catron Boulevard, I think was the one that came and delivered to us. 1-2 to Paris, skips low, and the count evens up 2-2. I wanted to be nice and give these guys a plug here. So Tom's looking at me with this look of disdain, but 2 balls, 2 strikes, and the pitch to Paris. Misses low and away, and the count goes full. My goodness, folks, this is a fun team to be a part of.
Which team are you referring to now?
All of us. Radio team, Post 22. Payoff pitch to Paris. Swung on, and the ball was fouled first base side and into the grandstand, and the count will hold full once again.
Who's the most important part of our team?
All of us. We're all one unit.
Who is the most important part of our team?
As of right now, because of this game and the way it's gone, the pizza delivery guy right now. So
our fans, our listeners are the most important part of our team.
Payoff pitch to Paris hits him. He'll take a free trot to first after he wears that one, only to be substituted by Tommy Wall as the courtesy runner. You are correct, though. Our fans are very important. And I'm sure our fans are absolutely pleased to hear that Domino's came through.
I don't think it's something they'll forget for a lot of days now.
So now here comes Justin Kramer with a man on first and nobody out.
Domino's has probably see a big surge in their pizza orders tonight.
Justin Kramer comes into this at-bat, 1 for 2, a 2-run RBI single, a stolen base. Scored a run. He also reached down an error, and he looks at ball 1 low and away. So Tommy Wall taking over for Timmy Paris as the courtesy runner on first. Wall's come around to score once in his stead. 1 ball, no strikes the count. And Ramirez deals. Called strike at the knees of Kramer, outside corner, and the count evens up at 1-1. Surprised nobody started chowing into this thing yet. It's just sitting right here. Here's the 1-1. Swung on, ball's hit to third. Stop is made on the play by Ludwig. To second for 1. To first for 2. He won't get it. So it'll be a 5-4 fielder's choice on the force to get Tommy Wall out at second. Justin Kramer is safe. So it's a man on first once again with 1 out for the Hardhats, and that'll bring up Connor King, the left-handed hitting center fielder.
Just a little reminder, tomorrow's game starting at 7:30.
King on the ball game, 0 for 2. Ground out right back to the pitcher. And then a backwards K in the book. He struck out. And it looks like we're going to get a pitching change. And the start of Anthony Ramirez has come to its conclusion. And he will now give way to the only reserve listed on the roster here for Las Vegas. And that will be number 17, Spencer Clemens. And if my eyesight is not failing me, Tom, he looks like a lefty out there.
And Clemens, as you said, was the only reserve, with the couple of players that couldn't make it on the trip for Las Vegas, really put them into a bind. But Clemens comes in. You're right, he's a left-hander. And he'll be pitching to Connor King, the left-handed batting post 22 center fielder here in the bottom of the fourth, with 1 out, a runner at first. Post 22 leading 10-2. Now they do have the 8-run rule in the tournament, so Vegas is going to have to score at least once as it stands right now in the top of the 5th to keep this game going. And then we have 6 games beginning tomorrow morning at 7:30.
Real quick, we'll go ahead and recap what Anthony Ramirez did on the mound for Las Vegas. He went 3 1/3 innings pitched. He allowed 10 runs. Only 9 of those, though, were earned. He had 3 strikeouts to 2 walks. He hit a batter, and he did it all in 88 pitches. And again, I go back to my earlier comments here in this ballgame time. You have to give Ramirez a ton of credit, because that is not an easy situation to pitch in. It's not an easy team to pitch to, given the situation. And if his defense doesn't make some mistakes, maybe it's a closer game. Maybe it's 6-2 or 5-2 instead of 10-2. You never know.
It never helps to commit errors. It never helps you to be put in that position when you're in a pitcher, you know. But again, post 22, after struggling a little bit at the plate on Sunday's game back in Pullman, they've swung the bats pretty good again tonight. I like Ramirez because he was around the plate, and he was going to be, if you're going to beat him, you were going to swing the bats. And he hasn't, like a lot of these pitchers you see, walk 5 or 6 guys and hit a couple of batters. And so from that standpoint, and also the fact that as shorthanded as Vegas is, and playing 8 games in 7 days, they're going to have to try somehow to manage their pitching and kind of watch the pitch count for these pitchers and see what the most they can get out of each pitcher on any particular day, with only apparently Clemens maybe is their relief pitcher, or maybe he'll be starting in a couple of days, but working in relief here.
That's actually a really good point. I didn't even think of that. The pitching. And you got to hope that some of these guys are 2-position players. Connor King's first pitch hit to second to 1, to first for 2. They won't get it again. The Hardhats with a lot of speed coming out of the batter's box as Connor King hits into a 4-6 fielder's choice. He is safe. However, the lead runner, Justin Kramer, is forced out. 2 down. That'll bring us back to the top of the order to Walker Paz, who is 1 for 3 in this ballgame with a single. He flew out. He also reached on an error, came around to score twice, and his error happened to knock in a run. Unfortunately, he won't get credit for the RBI.
And, of course, there were 2 consecutive left-handed hitters here for the left-hander to face. So Vegas was wise to bring him in at this particular time. And I'll tell you one thing, this kid is not his first appearance on the mound. You can tell by the way he handles himself in these first 2 hitters that Clemens can throw the baseball.
And he throws his first pitch for a strike to Paz. It's called on the outside corner. So Paz behind 0-1, and Clemens deals. That's strike 2 on the inside corner. Very good location from the lefty in Clemens. Paz behind 0-2. He has Connor King on first with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th. Hardhats have a 10-2 lead. And the 0-2 pitch, low and away. And Paz arrested the bat on his shoulder, and the count holds at 1-2. If Paz is the last out, 7, 8, 9 are due up for Las Vegas. Their last 3 chances to try and get at least 1 run to keep this game going into the bottom of the 5th. 1-2 pitch. Over the head of Paz. He ducks for cover, and it's 2-2. Because as Tom mentioned earlier, in this tournament, it's not a 10-run rule, it's an 8-run rule. After 4.5 innings if the home team's ahead, or 5 if the visiting team's ahead. 2-2 pitch. Caught him looking. Strike 3. And that is going to end the inning. So Spencer Clemens gets a strikeout on just his second batter faced. It will end the bottom half of the 4th. The Hardhats did not play to run. There's also no hits. No errors, were charged to Las Vegas. There was 1 man left on the base path on first base. 4 innings in the books. Hardhats still have a 10-2 lead. We'll be right back in just a few moments here on the official radio home of Post 22 Hardhats Baseball on ESPN Radio, Rapid City.
With more than 300 pediatric experts in 35 specialty areas, Sanford Children's offers the care that matters to your family. At the Castle of Care, we are committed to bringing in the latest and most advanced technology and services to care for your children. And having the largest team of specialists in the region means your child can receive expert, individualized care close to home. At Sanford Children's, we promise to put your family first. To learn more, visit childrens.sanfordhealth.org.
Now pitching, number 18, Dylan Ritchie. And pitching, number 17, Todd Stevens.
So Dylan Ritchie's now on the mound for the Hardhats to start off the top half of the 5th. Todd Stevens moves behind the plate. So the evening of Riley McSherry has come to an end. He put together another high-quality start. And Dylan Ritchie comes out for the first time since Sunday. He came out in relief to end the 15-4 loss to the Northwest Bandits in the Palouse Summer Series. Ritchie comes in for his 7th appearance of the season, his 5th in relief. 9 1/3 innings of work under his belt. He has 7 Ks to 6 walks, a 6.75 ERA. And he will face 7, 8, 9 in the order for Las Vegas. Las Vegas needs a run if we hope to play in the bottom half of the 5th. Hardhats have a 10-2 lead. 10 runs on 10 hits with 1 error for Post 22. And 2 runs on 4 hits with 5 errors for Las Vegas. First pitch from Ritchie, a called strike to the 7-hole hitter, Blake Logan, the second baseman, who's 0 for 1 with a backwards K, and he's behind 0-1.
Ritchie threw a great 5th inning against the Northwest Bandits. 5 pitches in a 1-2-3 5th inning. Looked really good.
And he's looking even better, too, as he throws the second pitch called strike, a fastball on the outside corner. At the knees of Logan, no balls and 2 strikes to count. Logan, Mayo, and Clemens due up. 0-2 pitch misses low and away, and the count goes to 1-2. Spencer Clemens going in for Anthony Ramirez in the pitching spot, so he will bat in this inning for Las Vegas. 1 ball, 2 strikes to count. Ritchie will pitch from the stretch, even though the bases are empty, and the next pitch is swung on and missed, strike 3. Strike 3 was dropped, and Todd Stevens picked it up to get the tag. So it's a K2. For the first strikeout in relief for Dylan Ritchie. 1 up, 1 down. That's going to bring up the left-handed hitting right fielder, Parker Mayo, who's also 0 for 1 with a backwards K. The second of 4 Riley McSherry strikeouts. First pitch misses for ball 1 to Mayo. 1-0 the count. By the way, McSherry went 4 innings. Didn't walk a single batter. Struck out 4. Next pitch from Ritchie, a called strike at the knees of Mayo, and the count evens up at a ball and a strike. He gave up 2 runs on 4 hits. And both runs were earned. 1-1 pitch. Richie goes inside a little too far. 2 balls and a strike. Like Tom said, the last time Richie was on the mound against the high-quality Northwest Bandits club in our tournament in Pullman, showed a lot of poise. 2-1, called strike at the knees of Mayo, 2-2. And that poise is what you're looking for in your pitching staff, especially around this time. If you don't have that poise, if you don't have that confidence, you're just simply not going to go anywhere. In the most crucial moments of a season, with the postseason coming up, a couple of more tournaments here and there, a state championship to defend, a four-peat to defend. Tournament play, you can learn a lot of poise. 2-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. And it's the second strikeout in as many batters for Richie. 2 up, 2 down. And that will bring us to quite possibly the final batter of the night. Spencer Clemens, the left-handed hitting pitcher for Las Vegas. Clemens came in the last 2/3 innings of relief for Ramirez and got both retirements. First pitch from Richie misses low and away. 1-0 the count. Richie's faced 2. He has struck out 2. 1 ball, no strikes. And Richie deals to Clemens. Swung on and missed. And the count evens up at a ball and a strike. (10-2) is the Hardhats lead. Richie gets 2 more strikes or Clemens retires himself. The game's over. 1-1. Swung on and missed. Nice breaking pitch, dipping down from Richie. Ball and 2 strikes. Now the count from Richie to Clemens. Richie's 1 pitch away from fanning all 3 he's seen and ending the ballgame. 1-2 pitch. Missed inside. And the count evens up 2-2. Don't forget, like Tom mentioned, tomorrow night the Hardhats will come back to Firecracker action. Our broadcast will start roughly around 8 o'clock. They will play the Mountain West team out of Utah. 2-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. He got him reaching for it. Dylan Ritchie strikes out all 3 he sees in relief. 1-2-3 inning, and that will end this ball game. Final score after 4.5 innings. Hardhats take it 10-2 over Las Vegas. So the Firecracker once again starts off with resounding success for Post 22, their 43rd running of this tournament. And a big win in the column for them as they look for another Firecracker title. Folks, we're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, Tom will rejoin me in the booth. The 2 of us will gather some numbers and walk through some thoughts. And we'll be all set to set the table for tomorrow night's second game. Stick around, folks. You're listening. The official radio home of Post 22 Hardhats baseball here on ESPN Radio, Rapid City.
Coke Zero goes with things like this. This. And this. Coke Zero tastes like this.
He shoots! He scores!
It sounds like this. It feels like this. So when the game is on, try it with this. Coke Zero. Real Coca-Cola taste. 0 calories, 0 sugar.
Ten runs on 10 hits for Post 22. They committed 1 error and strand 6. 2 runs on 4 hits, 5 errors for Vegas, and they stranded 1. Riley McSherry worked the first 4 innings to pick up the win, gave up 4 hits, 2 runs. Dylan Ritchie a 1-2-3, 3 strikeout 5th inning to work the final inning. And the starter and loser was Anthony Ramirez for Vegas. Post 22 scoring 4 runs in the first inning, got a 2-run single in that inning from Cooper Bowman, also an RBI hit from Zach Sumption. They scored 6 runs in the third inning, and a 2-run single by Justin Kramer, and a 2-run triple from Zach Sumption. Eric Petrie had an RBI infield out in that inning for the Hardhats. So Rapid City now 34-4 on the season, continue with no back-to-back losses this season and Vegas drops to 14-28 on the season. So after a little bit of a bumpy start there for Riley McSherry, he gave up hits to 3 of the first 4 hitters he faced. He settled down, pitched great baseball, and Post 22 will face the team out in west out of Utah tomorrow night.
And he only surrendered 1 hit after he gave up the first 3 out of 4. He retired at 1.6 straight, gave up the hit, retired him the rest of the way. But I want to go back to the point that you made when Dylan Ritchie came out for his relief appearance, the poise. It's good to see that, because when he made his start against Bitterroot, it didn't look like he had that poise. He pitched okay. He got the win for the Hardhats. He gave them a decent enough lead. Then the Hardhats started going through their bullpen rotation, trying to get some guys some work. But Dylan is put in a tough spot, trying to get something started for his team on Sunday. Comes back with a brilliant relief appearance in about 6 pitches, retires all 3 gentlemen. And now he comes out tonight. He fans 3 straight. So good to see that poise from him.
Yes, it was. And, of course, that final roster has to be in here right around the 1st of July. So that's coming up. And I know Mitch Messer wants to see as many players as he can. Some of them that may be yes and maybe on the bubble to make that final 18-man roster. And Dylan has certainly done himself some good in the last 2 appearances, retiring 6 guys that he's faced in his last 2 outings. So tomorrow's another day, and we have 6 games starting at 7:30 tomorrow morning with Missoula, Montana playing Eden Prairie. Eden Prairie will play at 10 against Premier West. Premier West and Rocky Mountain at noon. 3 o'clock, this Vegas team will play Rocky Mountain. 5:30, Yakima, Washington against Mountain West. And Post 22 against Mountain West at 8 o'clock now tomorrow night. 8 o'clock is the starting time, give or take a few minutes. Sometimes in tournaments, when you have 6 games, a heavy schedule, it's tough to keep on schedule, but hopefully they'll be fairly close, and we'll have our broadcast tomorrow right around 8 o'clock. Have you even had a bite of your pizza yet?
I have not, because, well, we've been working, so just waiting. It's sitting right there, just waiting.
Well, I want to make sure that since you paid for it, that you at least get a bite of it.
Before you run off with the rest of it? Is that what you're trying to set me up for?
No, I'm worried about what Destin might do with it. He's the one who's famished.
That is true. That is true.
Thank you, Mark. We'll see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow, Tom. Good night. Thanks again for a great call tonight, folks. Thanks so much for joining us. Like Tom said, tomorrow, roughly around 8 o'clock tomorrow night, we'll be on the air ready to rock and roll for Game 2 of the 2017 Camping World Firecracker Tournament. For my partner, Tom Rudabush, for our director of Hardhats TV, Dustin Human, this is Mark Benetti saying so long and good night from the Anytime Auto Sales Press Box here on ESPN Radio Rapid City, the official radio home of your Post 22 Hardhats.